I'm Abigail Lewis,
I'm Dean Schroeder.
and we will be giving you a tour of our school.
Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to achieving our school improvement goal.
I would say that there's three main ones that I've implemented. One is the learning targets. Every day I have a learning target for all of my classes at the beginning of class, and I kind of use that as a guide for the day's lesson. Second thing is I've been working on long-range plans for my classes. I've got a couple of my classes completed, but I still have some additional classes to get finished, and that way I can align up my classes with the Nebraska standards. Let's see, there's a third one. Oh, graduate release. Although I'm not the best at graduate release, I'm trying to improve on using graduate release more and more in my teaching practices.
Okay, thank you.
Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to achieving our school improvement goal.
Well, we got new curriculum, math curriculum that came from education reports, and so that is going to improve our math curriculum for the school.
Okay,
Thank you.
Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to achieving our school improvement goal.
Two things, actually. One is taking the state standards and applying them to the lessons and to what we're doing, teaching to the state standards. And the other one is testing MAP scores and using those to find out what our students need to do to improve for ACT testing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to achieving our school improvement goal.
For me, it's probably been gradual release. I like to go over things in class, go over together, and then have them work maybe in groups, and then work their way towards doing it on their own, and then me checking back into it. So that would definitely be one, and then just group work in general. So maybe having a couple kids working on one thing, some other kids working on another, and just kind of take it in the direction where they are hoping to learn to help with careers, in particular for my class.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to achieving our school improvement goal.
The one that I have the most fun with, and I think our students do too, we're talking third, fourth, fifth, and of course we don't have a sixth grader, is the STEM that we do. And you can see some of the different things we do up there. And this group, next week, don't tell anybody, we're going to try the project of straw rockets.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
What do you think? You don't want to do that?
Yeah.
Straw rockets. It shoots up into the air and then they come down, and we're going to find out why they come down, why they don't keep going.
Okay, thank you. Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to achieving our school improvement goal.
I have done long-range plans for every single one of my classes, and it has just really helped me out along the way, knowing where I want to be, seeing where I am, and actually adding notes and moving forward with that from year to year.
Okay, thank you. Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to achieving our school improvement goal.
Well, I think we all the time are putting practices into our classroom to achieve these goals, like working one-on-one with the students. Small class sizes really help here, and also just providing different learning opportunities, different types of learning through music, through singing, through games, working together, peer models. Doing all of those things, I think, really helps for a successful classroom.
Okay, thank you. Name a practice that you have implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
Okay, the practice I have used are my goals up there. They match the state standards, so I look them up, make sure that we're covering them, go over them with the students before I teach them and even after I teach them to make sure I have covered them during that lesson.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Name a practice that you have implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
Well, I learned a lot. I think the learning target that I post at the beginning of every lesson works a lot, and so we stay focused on that objective that's written down. Also, we started using iReady for math, and that gives us a lot of practice. And also we started using eSpark, which is another reading supplement that we've been starting to use. So at least 3 of them.
Okay, thank you. Practice that you have implemented in your school classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
Well, one of the practices that I have implemented, we have as an elementary school, is we have implemented a new math curriculum here in the elementary school, and it is research-based, and it really meets the standards for the Nebraska state standards. The kids are doing really, really well with it. It does a great job of teaching the kids why behind all of the math skills that they're learning. So our elementary school and our school as a whole, it does a really good job of finding the curriculum that meets our standards and meets the needs of the kids.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Name a practice that you have implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school goal.
So the new math curriculum that we've implemented is research-based and very near and dear to my heart. So it makes it really easy for me to gear my instruction towards those Tier 2 and Tier 3 learners. So I use my map data to kind of create my groups, and then also the curriculum, since I'm teaching 2 grades, does a really good job at differentiating and kind of creating a scaffolding for students that are learning at different levels. So when I'm teaching 1st grade, my 2nd graders are working on a independent level unique to them, and so that makes it really easy for me with teaching the 2 grades.
Okay, thank you. Name a practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
In my class, we do a lot of vocabulary instruction, and especially using those academic vocabulary terms so that students know what those things mean when they see them on tests or even just as they progress through the grades.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Practice that you have implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
Well, I do interventions, and so I like that we have a dedicated intervention time, and no matter what, that stays. so that all the tier 2 and tier 3 kids make sure to get extra instructional time. And then we review all the progress monitoring at our MTSS, at our monthly MTSS meetings. And
Okay.
so I think that's helping.
Thank you. Name a practice you have implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
I think the thing I've done the most this year was incorporate the standards into my lesson plans. And because of that, I've made some long-range plans for my classes, so I know that all my standards are hit and the kids are getting everything that they need to have for the year.
Okay, thank you. Practice that you've implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
In the preschool classroom, I use long-range plans. These long-range plans help me monitor and make sure that I'm meeting all the standards I need all my students to meet before they're in the kindergarten and they're ready to be successful in that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Name a practice that you have implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
Probably the things that impacted me most was not so much new information they gave us, but that they verified or showed that some of the which practices work best so that we could use those practices more, and like wait time and gradual release and different note-taking skills that you have the kids do is probably what I've seen that's helped.
Okay, thank you. Name a practice that you have implemented in your classroom that has contributed to attaining our school improvement goal.
I think the one that we've implemented quite a few, but one that I really like is the clear learning targets. That allows the students to see what's going to be accomplished for the day, and then you can align your instruction to your learning target, also align it to the Nebraska state standards.
Okay, thank you.